We're going to do price watch. Yay! I am going to run out of steam. This is so busy, this show today. Okay. Here we go. Starting off with this one. Korg 800DV, Kenton MIDI CV gate, flight case, collector. Wow, haven't seen one of these for a while.
France. No, they don't come up very often, do they? It's 2 times a Korg 700S, basically. So the Korg 700S is that one strip, so it's got 2 of them across that panel. It's very peculiar. Dave Spears did a great video on this, by the way, on his GeForce site. If you're interested in it, go and have a look at that, because he really, really rates it. He thinks it sounds great.
Yes, and I agree with him. I actually think these are better than the 700. So for me, Korg should have remade this, not the 700. I know the 700 is kind of...
Absolutely agree.
It's probably a better thing to look at. It's kind of more quirky, but this is sonically a better synth, definitely. This is US dollars, by the way, too. So you're looking at the better part of nearly 8,000 with the shipping there. That's a lot of money for a buy.
Yes.
Yeah, 2-voice. Anyway, 1975. Wow, starting to get on a bit, aren't we?
Yeah.
What else we got? This one. Had to show this one. I love this synth. And
Yummy.
Andy saw one of these on the weekend. Actually, I've got Andy's photo.
Yeah, put the photo up.
Yeah, I'll show that in a sec. So Roland System 100 modular, great. Absolutely one of my favorite synths. System 100M, System 700, all my favorite. I love the sound of these things. They're incredible. I'm jealous. 15,000 American dollars. Yeah.
Again, can I jump in on this one, Rands, if I may?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm being a bit gobby today. The German grammar school that I worked at way back in the late 80s, early 90s, they had one of these in a room, the full system, basically what you're looking at here, and nobody touched it. Nobody knew anything about it. At the time, I really didn't know anything about it. I'm looking at it, it's a sort of... And do you know what? I really wish. I'd gone in and said, "Excuse me, I'll give you 300 marks for it, mate. I'll take it off your hands because it's taking up a whole room. This you don't really want it here." But honestly, in all the time I was there, these 2 years I was at this school, nobody ever mentioned it. Nobody touched it. The music department, nothing ever said. What a shame. And to this day, I wonder if it's still there, sitting in that room. I bet it's not. But yeah, it was a great journey. I'd like to see one of these recently again.
I love your stories, Andy. They're cool. In fact, you actually just saw one recently. There's the photo that
there
you
it
took.
Is. The full system. That wasn't the one that was in the school. Clearly not. That's on the stage at Sheffield City Hall.
This was taken by Andy just a week ago. So they're still getting about. Yeah, there you go. Fantastic.
Yeah, that was Martin Ware's. That was Martin Ware's System 100 that he was using. It was, like I said earlier, it was really great to see him, and he was actually using it in the gig. And he made the comment to the audience, and Glenn Gregory went over and pressed the keys so you could actually hear them actually playing. Yeah, these things are real. These are these are the actual instruments that were used on Travelogue and Reproduction way back in the day. The actual instruments. So not ones that have been serviced and bought or sourced from Reverb.com. The actual ones, and I was like going, I was just wetting my pants. I'm sorry, it was just too much of a nostalgia moment to miss that. So that synth that we just seen that photograph of, that was what was used for those sounds on Being Boiled and Empire State Human and all those tracks. Absolutely, eye-wateringly gorgeous.
Yeah,
right, I'll shut up now.
No, that's fine. Okay, so first one off the ranks is this one. This is the Chord Trident. Now, I know someone who absolutely loves Chord Tridents, and that is Mark Doty. He's a big fan of Chord Trident. And I don't blame him, actually, because they really have quite a unique sound, I find, to these. I would love it if Korg remade this. I think it would be, instead of making ARP, they should remake their own stuff. Because they are doing some of it, but I'm not really so sure that they should be making this instead of some of those other things that they make. I don't know, it's just my personal opinion. Anyway, $5,000 or the better part thereof. It's located in Brooklyn in New York. Hello to all the people in Brooklyn that are watching. Probably no one. That's actually not a bad price, really, is it? 5,000 for, it's pretty sought after these times.
Yeah, they're quite rare. So I suppose the price is decent, but would you shell out $5,000 for one?
Well,
You know.
it's. I mean, how much is a Moog 1?
Well, exactly. I mean, if Korg were to reissue it, if it's what £1,700, £1,700 for the micro Korg thing that they released recently, how much is it going to be for a 6 or 8 note polyphonic synthesizer like that? I mean, it's got divide down and stuff in it, I think, and other stuff, but I still think it would end up being extremely expensive if they re-released it. But I'm with you. I'd love to see some more things like this out there. I mean, I've always thought the Trident was a thing of beauty. I think it just looks great.
Yeah, I do too.
Sounds great too.
I reckon the
played one once.
The guy that made his shop came up. I think he spent a long time trying to work out what he was going to call his business, because it's located on the main drag. He's decided to call his shop Main Drag Music. I think that was very clever. What about the Elka Syntax? Wow, that is getting a bit stupid.
Oh, yummy. Oh, look at the price. Oh.
That is getting stupid. Mind you, that stand would be pretty rare, because they don't all come with that stand. That just that oozes Italian synthesizer design, doesn't it, with that stand? It just oozes it. It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Did anybody see Heinbach's? Sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say, if anybody saw Heinbach's video on the Italian Synth Museum, there's a museum dedicated to the manufacture and the production of the old Italian synthesizers. Really quite fascinating. I mean, obviously, Elka Syntax is well known, Krumar is well known, but there's a load of others that are these very peculiar, like offshoots of the organ and sort of accordion sort of factories and things that made all these really quirky, strange. But yeah, I mean, the Elka Syntax is the best now. But again, look at that; it's a beast, isn't it? And it just looks amazing. I'd love one of those.
If you were a
collector, I haven't got 15 grand.
If you were a collector, you'd probably pay that. But if you're just buying it to make music, you wouldn't. What were you saying, Henrik?
I remember the time when these things were in the shops. And they were not in the shops where synthesizers were. They were in the organ shops, home organs and such.
Yeah.
So it was a genre, at least the people I know, would never buy. So it's difficult to me to fall in love with this because of being raised like that.
Yeah, I understand. So what you're saying is the funnel that you came out of has formed you to feel this is more an organ than a synthesizer. And as a result, you can never sort of put it in that. Yeah, look, I know what you're saying, and I actually remember there was actually an interview with Jean-Michel Jarre about the Elka Syntax, because he was probably the synthesizer musician that made it famous. I mean, he wrote a whole album using the Syntax, and he talked about it as an organ when he got it. So, but because of the way he programmed it, and because there were guys like who was the guy that did the laser heart patch?
Paul Whiffen did it.
Paul Whiffen, yeah, Paul Whiffen. He's a synth. Paul Whiffen's a synth guy. He writes sound patches for many things. So because of that, it crossed the divide, and as a result of that whole sort of demarcation of Elka being just an organ company to now being a respected synthesizer manufacturer, that's where it happened. It was literally the use of it. And I think when they designed it, they did it on purpose. They definitely had the idea that we're going to make a synthesizer, because a lot of the technology that are in organs are, common in synthesizers as well. So it wasn't a big stretch for them to do that. By the way, if you're ever wondering, it's actually one of my most favorite synths. It's in the top 5. My top 5 must have about 100 synths in it, by the way, just in case you're counting.
We've all been there and done that, haven't
we? yeah. I know someone's going to say in chat, hang on, didn't you say this was in your top 5? No. Anyway, I think there's one more, and that is this one. This is also in my top 5. And I'm not joking.
We got the whole gamut here.
I love this synth. The Art Quadrant. I wish someone would remake this. This is an extremely curious synth in the sense that it's basically 4 different synthesizers in one, and it's 4 different synthesizers in one. Back in the day when analog was king. So it's not like a JDXI, which is 4 synthesizers in one, right? Yeah, this is a real analog beast. It's got a bass machine, it's got a string machine. Do you know what I mean? Like it's got an amazing sounding phaser circuit in it, which people should replicate. Please, someone replicate that phaser circuit. Especially do it in Eurorack for me. I'd love to buy it. 12,500 with the shipping in US dollars. This one's in Spain. So yeah. The Moog child syndrome.
Tony Banks machine, Genesis.
Yeah, New Order, Genesis. Who else was big with the Art Quadrant? I've got a feeling it's like someone like Steve Miller Band or someone like that were big on these over in the US. Because don't forget, Art were based in the US. They were pretty big, the Quadra, with some bands in the US. People in the chat will probably remind us, who was a big US artist that used the Quadra? Yeah, that's the first 10 synths in my top 5. Thanks, Marcus. See, I knew he was counting. I knew someone was counting. I said it was 100. I'm using Marcus, if you're wondering, it's called the Tardis Principle. You can squeeze 100 synths in 5. I'm using a compression algorithm. Anyway, yeah, so does anyone remember a good, well-known US artist that used the Quadra? Stevie Wonder? Yeah, he had everything, didn't he? I don't know why I think it's Steve Miller Band, but don't forget, Steve Miller Band, he was really early on a big synth user. He had the mini Moogs, he had, like, think about the album Fly Like an Eagle. It's just it's
Joe Zawinul.
Yeah.
Weather Report.
Oh, yeah. Go back and listen to that stuff. That's like great. As raw synth as you can get, that stuff, isn't it? Yeah. The TARDIS of the mind, yes. Fantastic. Got a few suggestions anyway. Make a video, please, Marcus. Brilliant comment from Stephen. The next one is this gold edition of the TR909 in near mint condition. Yes. I don't know about that price.
Minging. Well, somebody's just gone out and got gold spray paint and spray. That's just wrong. Oh, come on. Why would you want to bling up a 909? It just goes against the essence of the machine. Stop it, you silly people.
This one's in Japan, so hello to all the Japanese
Why would
viewers.
Be? Yeah. Sorry. Oops. Careful, Andy. That was bordering on being unacceptable. I'm sorry.
But if I do want to get this, it does ship to Australia. So.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. I'm actually, thinking about hitting that buy now button. I don't know about the price though. I kind of feel $16,000 US dollars for a drum machine.
Grow up. I mean, you cannot. No, even collectors don't want to pay that much. Corrosive, yeah, it looks awful. It does. It looks wrong, doesn't it? It just looks wrong. The TR909 was never a looker in the first place.
Pete's in the chat. He's asking what it is. Pete, it's your next drum machine, mate. It's what it is.
Get it, ball, Pete.
What about this one? This one is from Andy.
God, what's this?
This is the Orgon Energizer. Spelled interestingly. It's a modular synth, and it's been pro-serviced. This thing it's quite. I actually had some trouble trying to work out.
It looks wacky.
Yeah. So let me just get my thing up.
I love the look of it. $6,000. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that looks great.
There's actually YouTube videos on this thing, and there's also people on Reverb selling this literally right now. In fact, there actually may even be this listing that I'm looking at. There we go.
That's the wrong question to it. Oh, a red one now. You can specify your colours.
Oh, we're going to get copyright strikes on this.
Are we?
Yeah, filter sweeps.
Yeah. FFS, hashtag FFS, everybody. Wave folding and stuff like that in it. It sounded bucklerish, didn't it? Oh, that's beefier. Wow, that's big. Is that a Macbeth?
I think that might be, yeah. TR808. I have no permission to play this video, so I do apologise.
What's that big thing?
Is that the Schumann?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, my first thought was like the Macbeth synth that Orbital have got.
So it's a quad modular
filter.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Anyway.
No.
So you did hear a little bit of it. Obviously, these things aren't made anymore, but let's see what the chatties say. Oh, I've got one of these, says someone in the chatties. Has anyone said? There's a few people know that people that have got one. Only has one VCO. Yeah. Interesting anyway.
And I said how much? How much it was? $6,000 on the
let's go back to
eBay ad.
Let's go back to it.
That was a lot.
That's US dollars.
Yep.
So
plus $135 shipping. Bloody hell. It's only a little box.
It's in the Netherlands, so it can't be that bad. All right, let's move on to the next one because it's the last one. And yes, we have the famous Andromeda. I actually don't think that price is too bad though. That's US.
No, I mean either, but it's a thing, isn't it? The Andromeda, but will it be working next week? It's always the question that you're going to have to ask with that. It looks. I mean, I remember when it came out and just lusted after that. I so wanted one of those.
That's what I was
never going to be able to afford it. What you lust after them, please, Ramsey. Don't go down that path.
No. I'm asking if they'd be working next week. No.
That big French synth. What is going on? That big French synth means the river, doesn't he?
Yeah. The A6, Austin, Texas. By the way, big shout out to Switched On, who are in Austin, Texas. They're a good bunch of guys, and this is definitely not a scam. This is how much these actually go for. I always find Switched On about on the money with their used prices too. And we finished Price Watch. Hooray! Yay! Hooray!
Yeah, but I forgot to send you some more.
No, it's all right. I've still got some of yours, but we're going to start with a couple that I think, have I put them in? Let's double check. Yes, I definitely have put them in. So yes, these are getting really crazy. I think we've shown these before. The Strymon Eurorack modules. This is literally just an attenuator. That's all this is, right? This is literally just pretty much like a passive bit of electronics, really. 2,800 euros. I mean, yeah, this is because rest in peace for the guy that's gone, but because he's no longer around, he's not making these. They're fetching some really pretty pennies, these modules now. And I just think people are going in for the money grab. I don't know if I agree with that sort of stuff. Yeah, but anyway, if you get away with it, go. All the best to you. What else we got? The Oberheim IV voice. Now this is definitely mine because it's got Australian dollars in it. So we're looking at what about 17,000 US for that? That's getting pretty nasty. Yeah, I mean,
it's had a price drop.
It has. It's 22%. That's brilliant. Rush out now and buy it. This is actually in Falls Church in Virginia in the United States. There you go. So yeah, hello to all the people in Falls Church.